duration in my view. So you're handed back a lease. You're handed back a silver debt, basically. Now, I don't know how marketable that might be. Rudy?
Sandeep, there still has to be a limit on open interest, legitimately, because the warehouseman has a certain amount of gold, and that's how many contracts he goes on one side, and then he leases it out. Okay, but that doesn't change the number of contracts.
No, but once he's leased it out, the person who's borrowed it could have sold it to another warehouseman.
And he runs through the same cycle again?
So that's the same gold.
It's more interesting.
But good point. Well done. I like that. Okay. Same gold. Oliver.
So you're basically saying that this big amount of naked short positions is normal.
Oh, you're putting words into my mouth. I didn't say they were naked short positions. They might be. We'll find out soon. Okay. But they could have just been lent out.
Yes. But are you really thinking that this is the case?
What, do I think they've been lent out?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. I don't know how long they've been lent out for, though. That's the problem.
So everything is backed by real.
Everything is backed by?
By real silver. So it's not a naked position.
Well, it's backed by real silver in the sense that a lease on silver, or a claim to silver from a lease, is silver. Now, this is like saying, LVM saying that the claim to gold is just as good as gold itself. Is it? But you might be forced to accept it. It depends. I mean, this is a couple of years down the line before I see the silver market sort of devolving into that state.
There's another point also. If there was naked short selling, then that would also drive the market into backwardation.
Yeah.
So, which is certainly not the case of gold right now. And as Sandeep said, the far out silver futures are very mild backwardation, which has been declining for months.
As the silver comes back to the exchange.
Do you think also the concentration of some of the big players of these short positions is also justified? Is it also?
Yeah.
It could be.
There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
So you agree it's also bona fide hedgers and all these?
No, I'm not saying it's bona fide at all. But there is nothing wrong with one bank being the source of all futures contracts. Per se. There's nothing wrong with that.
What happened to gold 2008?
What did happen?
Was there a slight speculation?
There was, yes. And it's been returned to backwardation sort of on and off from time to time since then. But yeah, end of 2008, yes.
Now, prior to 2008, would each expiring future go into backwardation as it expired?
Huh?
Prior to 2008, would each expiring future go into backwardation?
No.
That's a post-2008 future.
Yeah.
That isn't really normal either.
No, that's not normal. No. But that's when it started to develop from, the end of 2008. And you could probably justify it by saying that people who'd lent their gold out, whoever they were, wanted it back. And because somehow that's tied into the futures market, that's what's causing the problem. I know that Barrick borrowed gold on a 15-year basis. They were first A, allowed to borrow gold on a 15-year basis, and B, someone lent them gold on a 15-year basis. Both very stupid things to do. But it was done. It was done. Any more questions?
Yeah. So when the Cobasis is positive, everybody who wants the premium sells on the spot market.
Yeah.
So, and conclusion the price is going to fall in the stock market. Is this conclusion correct?
No.
Okay.
No. Because if the Cobasis keeps on getting more and more positive, it's about the change in the basis, the change in the Cobasis, not its relative level per se. For example, if gold was in a 5% backwardation and it had been going up and up and up and up,
10%?
and then it went 4, 3, 2, 1, you're not going to say, oh, I'm going to keep on buying gold because it's still positive until it goes negative. You'll look at how it's changing to make your decision.
When is the price going to fall? When the Cobasis is starting to fall?
You can't look at it in that terms. You're trying to sort of dissect it into a trading indicator.
Yeah.
It's not that. Okay? That's like saying I want to make a trading indicator out of the bid-offer spread. All you can say is that if the bid-offer spread for stocks suddenly goes from 5 basis points to 500 basis points, there's a problem. Doesn't mean that, and it might be that you might want to look to short the stock market because market makers are exiting the stock market for some reason. It doesn't mean that, oh, it's going to now fall 10% and then this, that, and the other. It's
just an indicator.
It's not an indicator in the sense of being like
risk
about the state of the market. That's all. Any more questions? Louis?
Not a question, but a comment. It strikes me that if there was more transparency with all of this, if we knew the duration of the leases, if we knew it all, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it would be a proper market, and we could play in it with greater confidence. So it makes, this is nice theoretical, and I appreciate it. I thank you for it. But I just wonder if you're not part of the
set.
The what?
Of that set.
If you're not part of the people who know, you know,
you've got to know the people who know.
How can you play in that market? I mean, what you're arguing is that your whole construct of the basis and the Cobasis using Hungarian, you know.
What GATA should do is if they really want to make sure their business is sustainable, is they should ask every single dealer to give their loan book, their gold loan book, in the public domain, and split exactly by how much they've got on loan and for what duration.
But even that wouldn't be enough because you need to know what the central bankers are doing, right? The swaps between central banks.
Yes.
All of that.
Yes.
All of that.
Yeah. Which is why you don't need to do all of this, that, and the other. You can just watch the Cobasis because it will distill in that. So that's why, if we're lucky, there's just one number which we can calculate, which we can watch for all of that shenanigans to unwind itself, basically. Oliver.
So, is it correct to say that it's easier to play markets where there is no lending market behind?
No, I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't not say that. I don't know. You said it. Say it again.
I mean, for example, it's easier to invest in markets where there is no lending market involved. Maybe no gold and silver, something like core.
I think the question should be more whether it's regulated or not, whether it's transparent or not.
Yes.
Whether it has a leasing or not. Market becomes secondary. What you want is more transparency, more complete information.
Yeah. I mean, you buy and sell stocks, and there's a leasing market in stocks, obviously, because if you want to go short, you have to borrow stocks. But that doesn't preclude me from buying stocks. In fact, it makes me sort of want to buy more and more and squeeze the people that are out there short, you know. So no. Any more questions? Okay.
One more.
Mark.
You were saying the one indicator to watch, the Cobasis, is very helpful. So give us some predictions, or give us some, what could happen? I mean, this could go very positive.
I can't answer that. I mean, if you've been a subscriber to my services, you could answer that yourself. But what's happening right now, Keith?
I haven't looked at it for today, but I think just looking at the silver term, it still seems, the Cobasis still seems to be sort of sagging. And then that would obviously go along with what you said. I haven't been tracking the Comex warehouse numbers, but if silver's flooding into the exchange, it may actually leave backwardation altogether at some point.
So one of the big calls that I made was going long the gold-silver ratio at 35 or 34 or something. And everyone said, "You're mad, silver's going to the moon." And it went to, what did it? Yes. And that was all by looking at the ratios of the bases on silver and gold and comparing how they were moving against each other, basically. But Keith will be talking a bit tomorrow as well about all of this subject.
Well, less from a perspective of analyzing, certainly not from a trading indicator perspective, more from a how do you know this is really Armageddon?
Yeah.
And what are the implications of this? How is this going to play out? I mean, everyone in the so-called Austrian community has this notion that they're printing money, so if you double the money supply, you double prices. And Mad Ben Bernanke is at the controls of the inkjet, in overdrive, and so prices are going to go to the moon. Oh, and then the so-called excess banking reserves and all of that, and all that's going to come flooding into the market, and prices are going to go up. They sort of have it intuitively right. Prices are going to rise as a result of this, but not for the reasons they think. So I'm going to break down and show how gold backwardation, what's that going to do to commodities, and what the mechanism is going to be in terms of Mengerian arbitrage, not in terms of a person looking at Bernanke and saying, I should raise my prices because he just creates his money supply. It doesn't work that way.
By the way, a lot of people were hit in the silver sell-off. And I'm not talking about people like me or us who go and buy little... I'm talking about multi-billionaire silver dealers in India who were buying silver on leverage as it was going up towards and past... What was the high?
49.
Yeah. And when the price crash came, they were left heavily underwater. And these are sort of big guys. They're not, the Indian silver market, as you can imagine, is quite big. Very, very big.
And there are opposite numbers of these guys in China.
Yeah.
I mean, put the two together. And
if you think that this is opaque, you ain't seen nothing until you go to the Indian market.
I was going to make a comment to respond to Louis. I don't think I want to live under the sort of government that can come into everybody's basement and audit everybody's possessions of gold and silver. I mean, transparency sounds like a great idea until you realize it means that Big Brother has to be watching you 24/7.
I didn't mean...
No, I'm not saying you meant this necessarily, but...
That's not what I meant by transparency. I meant that if someone wants to obtain the information, if a good, research on the subject if you're a good researcher and you know where to look, that information should be available. That's what financial analysis is all about, is that you try to make sense of it.
What if I don't want to share my information with that guy?
Well, that information is used, of any use to me anyway. That's not the type of information I'm talking about. What you as an individual doubt.
No, but my book and my positions and whether I'm naked or whether I'm hedged, what my durations of my lease book are. What if the bank running that book doesn't want to share?
Well, that's what I mean by regulation.
Right.
There's some halfway house between being not giving away your trade secrets and being open about what you do. I'd be quite upset if my company said I want to protect how well I'm doing, I'm not going to publish annual accounts anymore. But trust me, what I'm going to be doing is brilliant, you know. So there is some halfway house. Any more questions? No. No? No? Okay. Thank you very much. That's all.